right? So we start with where we had left in last class. We spoke about the functional groups. Today we'll go to chemical properties of carbon compounds, which will be a little bit reaction and theory oriented. But let's have a quick recap. We spoke about one was the halo group, if you remember. ताकि आपको याद रहे. A halo group is represented by X, and this gives me rise to something called haloalkanes. Okay, this will give rise to haloalkanes, and haloalkanes will have the common formula Rx, where R stands for an alkyl group. Then we got to know about alcohols. Alcohols will always have the functional group OH, and a standard alcohol will be represented by ROH, where R is an alkyl group, right? The names of this end with all, and these are names of the halogen is named first, like chloromethane, chlorobromomethane, that order. Third, we got to know about the alkene group. So the alkene group has a carbon-carbon double bond. So this is alkene. Fourth, we got to know about the alkyne group, which is a carbon-carbon triple bond. These end with the name ene. This end with the name ine. Okay. And after that, to know the next series, we should first know what is a carbonyl group. So a carbonyl is C double bond O and both sides open, right? So this is a carbonyl group, which is generally used in the ketone part. So from here, 5A, we get to know something called C double bond O, and we blank it with H, which can be written as a dash CHO, and an aldehyde looks like RCHO. Okay, this ends with al. This is an aldehyde. Okay, then we look at 5B. 5B, okay, we make the acid out of it. So C double bond O, and out here we bring the alcohol group. So we can bring an R out here. It looks like RCOOH. This will end as oic acid. And these are known as carboxylic acid. Right? And the last is ketone. So ketones are R, C double bond O, and R dash. These are ketone. Yeah. These end with the name one. These are known as ketone. And I also said that, remember one more group called the esters. And the esters are R, C double bond O, O, R, R dash, like this. So we write them as R, C, O, O, R. So you should know how the pairing is. See, if you look at here, like this one in general form, ketones will be written to you like this, RCOR or R dash. Okay, you should know how the R happens. With the carbon oxygen, you have a double bond. Here, carbon oxygen. So if you observe these all compounds, they all have the carbonyl group. Here you have a carbonyl group here. You have the carbonyl group here. You have carbonyl group here. You have carbonyl group here. बस अलग अलग चीजें आके लगती है तो अलग अलग प्रॉपर्टीज बन जाता है. ठीक है, ये हम पिछले क्लास तक we had already done. So we today move to the section called chemical properties. It will be a little bit reactions and a little bit theory, but obviously not. The theory would not bother you as much. It will be very simple. So let's go around it. ठीक है, चले. Can I rub this now? Okay. So the next section that we are going to talk about is chemical properties of carbon compounds. Chemical properties. So in grade 10, it's all a little bit of what to say, compilation. You'll be studying some properties of alkene, some alcohol, some acid, everything. But all together, you don't study the compounds separately, you study the reaction separately. The first class of reaction is known as combustion reaction. Combustion. Okay. So what is combustion? Combustion is a process in which a substance burns in air to produce. So in combustion, we will have a substance, and this substance will burn in air. Okay. So it will react with oxygen, usually to give you carbon dioxide, water vapor. This is gaseous, water vapor, and it will give you energy. And the energy depends upon two forms. They can be either in the form of heat or in the form of light. This is the process of combustion or burning. Now, when we study combustion, the things that qualify for us are number one, alkanes. All alkanes undergo combustion reactions. Write it. Alkanes undergo combustion reaction. Okay? In fact, if I want to represent this for an alkane, how do I write? The alkane will be represented like RH. RH is an alkane. Standard equation. Alkane burns in oxygen, and that's why alkanes are considered to be yes, question ये सब आता है. Alkanes are considered to be excellent fuels. What is the property of a fuel? A fuel should burn to produce and give you a lot of energy. Alkanes will give you a lot of energy. And commonly, we should know, if you are using natural gas, like say for example, if you are in Delhi, NCR or Mumbai, okay, you are using something called PNG, piped natural gas. The natural gas comes to your house, it's called piped natural gas, and the major constituent is methane. Methane is the major constituent. ये सब सवाल आता है आपको, हाँ? Why are alkanes considered as? Because alkanes, all alkanes undergo combustion reaction. They react with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, water vapor, and give you enormous amount of energy. If you remember, when we were doing balancing of equations, I used to give you all balancing equations with that only. Pentane reacts. Okay, so सब इसमें आप कोई भी reaction बना सकते हो. Then they are excellent fuels. So if you are using LPG, like we are using, LPG stands for liquefied petroleum gas, then your major constituent is butane. Butane is your major constituent. Okay, butane is your major constituent. PNG is piped natural gas. So if you go to Mumbai and Delhi and all, you'll see piped gases in everybody's house. They don't have cylinders, so they're being distributed. So in Delhi, the company that distributes it is known as IGL, Indraprasth Gas Limited. In Mumbai, the company that distributes is called MGL, Mahanagar Gas Limited. Hyderabad also we have in some sectors called Bhagyanagar gas. These are all natural gas. LPG is butane. However, if you go by calorific value, then calorific value of butane is higher. Butane will heat up water much more faster than methane. So if you take the same water from the same source and the two same vessels, and you heat one in Delhi and you heat one here with a cylinder, in Delhi and with a gas, what you call, with a piped system in Delhi, the cylinder wala will actually boil faster because the calorific value of butane is higher. LPG is not one constituent. LPG is a mixture. So when you go to America, LPG will have more of propane. Propane is more costly, so that heats up much more faster. And for general knowledge, you should know that both of these do not have any smell. LPG is odorless, and PNG or piped natural gas is also odorless. Now this you will not agree, because you say whenever there's a gas leakage, we smell gas. Now that compound is known as ethyl mercaptan. In our days, it used to be there in course. Ethyl mercaptan. Ethyl mercaptan is C2H5 is ethyl, and then SH, sulfur, is there. This agent is the one which is mixed with LPG so that you can detect its leakage. That's for general knowledge. Ethyl mercaptan is deliberately injected in LPG so that, and this smells. This is something that gives you the smell for leakage of LPG. ठीक है? अब यहाँ दो बातें और होंगी. Little bit of grade 8 topic, but still you should know. Okay. Flame. Now there can be two types of combustion. See, when you are actually having combustion and you're making kebabs or something and you do a barbecue, you don't see flame. Flame is seen by, flame is what? You know, flame is the zone where the fuel vaporizes. Flame is basically a zone. This is a zone where the fuel vaporizes. So if a fuel vaporizes, only then you will see its flame. If the fuel doesn't vaporize, you won't see its flame. Okay, that means all the gases will always give you flame. No questions asked about it. But when it comes to solids and liquids, we will be, it depends upon if they vaporize. Now, if you ask me, how about, sir, cooking oil? Yes, it vaporizes. That's why diya jalta hai. ghee vaporizes. How about things like say kerosene? It does vaporize. Then alcohol also vaporizes. Spirit, the ones which you see in hotels, all the Bain Marie, that's called a Bain Marie, where all the food items are kept in a buffet, and then you see small spirit lamps being lighted. Those are all having alcohol inside them. So alcohol also catches flame. Okay. Now this particular flame, have you understood this? Flame is a zone where a fuel vaporizes. This is grade 8 stuff. Okay. And anything which vaporizes will give you a flame. If you don't vaporize, you will not give you. In that case, what does it do? It glows. Coal glows. Coal doesn't give you flame. Now this flame can be two colors. One can be blue, light blue, or it can be yellow or orangish. Okay. Light blue is the flame when you actually see when complete combustion happens. Again, grade 8 stuff. Complete combustion, you will have a light blue flame. Yellow flames are all incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion. Now question arises, sir, who is responsible for making complete combustion or incomplete combustion? There's only one fellow who will be responsible. That is the content of oxygen that is there. Okay. Now ask yourself a question that if you put any stuff for cooking, say if you're putting rice on boil in your kitchen and you switch off all the lights of the kitchen, then you see a wonderful blue flame, very beautiful, cute blue flame. That means you are burning methane, or say you must be burning butane, either of one. Methane or butane, or say LPG or natural gas, they can undergo complete combustion with the amount of oxygen that is present in the atmosphere. You don't need to specially give additional oxygen to them. Now, in case if you go to any of your friend's house, relative's house, and at night, if something is getting cooked, just switch off the kitchen light. If you do not see a blue flame, the first thing it strikes to you is that combustion is incomplete. If incomplete combustion happens, that means enough oxygen is not there. So there can be two cases. Number one, either the fuel they are using is adulterated. Every LPG is not clean. Okay. Either the LPG they are using does not have alkane completely. Then also it will not give you a blue flame. Another can be that the gas stove that they are using, the burners are not clean. Even if the burners are not clean, आपको red आएगा कि हम Indians है ना. Whenever you give so many tarka and all, whenever you give food, the food spills over the burner. So that food will also burn. So if you are not getting a blue flame, there are two things. Incomplete combustion is happening. And whenever incomplete combustion happens, then you will get something called carbon deposit. The vessel with which you are cooking, it will start developing carbon, means black cheese lagna shuru ho jayega. The vessel will start getting black. Ye concept samajh mein aaya? Now I need to rub here also. Okay, the vessel will have carbon deposit in it. Now let's talk a little bit about another thing called alkenes and alkynes. Alkenes and alkynes, or rather, if I can club them, I'll say unsaturated hydrocarbons. Now these also undergo combustion, but there is a clause. These also undergo combustion, but they will always burn with something which we call as sooty flame. Sooty flame means, you know, the flame will have a soot with it, black color. That means alkenes and alkynes, whenever they undergo combustion, that will be incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion means when you are using atmospheric oxygen. The content of oxygen that is present in the atmosphere is not sufficient to burn an alkene or an alkyne. Okay. If you look at gas welding, okay. Now there are two types of welding. You will not know that. We have electric arc welding and we have got gas welding. When we do gas welding, we usually use two types of cylinders. One cylinder will be ethane, which is known as acetylene. So this cylinder is C double bond C, H and H. Okay. And another cylinder, now see they are using ethane. Ethane is unsaturated. Now the gas cylinder torch, this is the torch. The torch will have two hoses, one from here, and an oxygen cylinder is also used. Same, that medical oxygen cylinder can be used, and both are connected to the welder's hands. So suppose train accidents and all happen, then you have to rip apart the bogie. So you have to do gas cutting on them. Aapko bogie darwaza thodi khulega tab. So you have to cut open the darwaza. So what happens? How does the welder do it? I mean, this is like back of our hand, right, from plants and all, from colleges to done. So first you will burn the fuel. So there will be two pipes in it. First you will switch on ethine, and as soon as you burn ethine with the lighter, you won't be able to see the flame also. It will be almost smoky color. Black soot will come out. Immediately you switch on oxygen, and once you switch on oxygen means you are giving additional oxygen to it, and that process we call as lancing. Once you lance it with oxygen, have you seen goldsmiths? Sometimes they blow with a pipe and it blows up. That's called lancing. Once you lance it, this flame will take the shape of a jet. पूरा एक jet बन जाएगा. It will become a beautiful jet, and it will be completely blue in color. The heat that it has, I mean, you can take this thick. Have you seen railway tracks? That thick iron, if you want to do a solid cut in very quick minutes, the best thing is gas cutting. I used to get a lot of scolding in my plant days, because whenever somebody used to use cutters for cutting, I used to immediately turn it on. Instead, you should be safe. You want to make a hole, take the torch, and your hand should be steady. We used to get marks for that also, how steady you can cut. And just put the flame on this, and the iron will just rip apart. Just rip apart. Beautiful cut, and the finish will be wonderful. So this question is sometimes asked. This is known as oxyacetylene welding. We call it oxyacetylene welding. Can I rub this? Okay. I'll come to this. Alkenes and alkynes do not undergo complete combustion in presence of atmospheric oxygen. However, when you use, one of their application would be oxyacetylene welding. Acetylene welding. Okay, what is acetylene? Acetylene is the trivial name for ethine. Ethine. So this is HC triple bond CH, and with this we have an oxygen cylinder. These two. So if you burn ethine directly, it will not give you a sooty flame. But oxyacetylenes will never give you sooty flame. They will give you such good flame that you will be able to cut. Now this cylinder is costly. So you know what these gas welders will do? वो LPG cylinder से cut कर देगा. LPG is also very good for cutting. Say suppose the cut you need should not be that precision. Do you know what happens to a ship? Ships after they are abandoned, what happens to a ship? Ships go for shipbreaking yard. Worldwide, in India, geography knowledge, there's a place in Gujarat called Alang. Alang is famous in the world for shipbreaking. If you go to Alang, it's only ship. All Ukraine ship, whatever ship. When a ship has to be, you can't keep a ship outside. The ship will come to Alang. And here you will see the ship today. Tomorrow you will go and see, kahan gaya? Pura kat gaya, pura ship. So many people go here for the secondary merchants go for buying, say, propeller of the ship or some motors or something. So Alang is a shipyard. In fact, I used to do a lot of oxygen sales in Alang. So if you do there, you don't need that much of precision cut. Kaatna hai, bas kaatna hai. So they will not use acetylene. They'll use LPG. So you'll have an LPG cylinder. Then you will ask, sir, why do they need the oxygen? LPG तो ऐसे ही जलता है, पर लोहा नहीं पिघलाएगा. That will make you cook chicken, but that will not make you melt iron. So what we do, we use additional oxygen, we lance it, and then LPG also gives you a super good flame. But the cut of LPG will never be that smooth as the cut you will get with acetylene. And in mechanics language, this cylinder is known as DA. DA means dissolved acetylene. The welder will tell you, "Saab, DA khatam ho gaya." I used to first think DA means dry air. DA means dissolved acetylene. Acetylene khatam ho gaya to welding, and acetylene se cut is like super smooth. Okay? If you go to factories which make namkeens, all these, the namkeen factory, like you have Bikaneri namkeens and all. So these factories must be doing a lot of frying. That is to be another gala job. See, job, I have enjoyed these things. Like when you sell LPG, you want to convert those customers into LPG. So all these factories which make namkeens, they don't use LPG. LPG is costly a little bit. They'll use diesel. So their burners run on diesel. And the diesel will be coming like small jets. Diesel utna nahi chahiye. Diesel is just like, it's like if somebody blows oxygen continuously, you can just, diesel is like put your lot of diesel in your mouth and you just like an atomizer. You know what is atomizer? Aftershave sprays or deos. When you spray them, You don't get liquid coming out. It just atomizes. You can't see it, but it's got sprayed. That's called an atomizer. So use your mouth as an atomizer. Bhangra dekhe ho kabhi? In Bhangra, there's a step where fire comes out. How do they do that? They will put kerosene in their mouth, and when the dance goes on, he will just with the mouth he'll spray the kerosene on that. It's quite dangerous, and that gives you that fire. So diesel burners में कैसा रहता है? If oxygen is going on and you just atomize diesel and you keep spraying diesel, it gives you good heat, and that is very good for cooking all those namkeens and fries and all. So there's a company in Indore called Akash and Prakash ke Namkeen. So when I went to this factory, they'll be reluctant to change to LPG, and they'll tell you it will not work. So we used to design so many burners and we used to say, no, look, they kaam karega, nahi karega, and they'll deliberately damage that batch. And then the manager or the malik will tell you, saab nahi ho raha. Do you know how samosas are fried? Samosa doesn't need very high flame. Samosa needs consistent heat at a large volume. You cannot fry samosas on high flame. If you fry it, then the outer shell will get burnt, andar ka aloo pakega nahi. Samosa needs a consistent flame. In fact, in LPG, samosas can be very good. So we had a bet in Chandigarh, and after that, a lot of halla, and we said we will fry it next time. But they will say, nahi saab, diesel se hota hai. But in those factories, the good thing is that if you love eating, you can't bring things. You eat whatever you want. You have to eat it there. So when I was in cryogenics, we used to supply nitrogen. Customer, Amul. Yankee Doodle. You know Yankee Doodle? Yankee Doodle was an ice cream company, Dollops. These are all ice cream companies in MPs and Gujarat. The rule is, the drivers used to say, Saab, hamara duty lagaiye. Because if you go there, you can eat as much ice cream, but you can't bring anything outside. So ice creams are just there. You just take off ice cream and start eating. So whenever we used to, as engineers, go for quarterly maintenance, Dollops is a very famous company those days. Then Yankee Doodle used to be a famous company. Then Quality. Amul to ekdam fresh. Amul mein jaake jo khana hai khate. Absolutely illegal. See, the government LPG that you get. So now you have asked a very nice question. So when you go to typically Delhi and Punjab is famous for this NCR. In NCR, weddings don't happen in summers. Weddings will all happen in winters. And the girl's father's first tension is not even the marriage hall, securing cylinders, because so much of food will be cooked. And then there you can't get so many cylinders from the government source. So you will buy it from the private market. And private market matlab aapka cylinder kya karega? Adulterate karega. Summers may anything burns. The challenge is to get fire in winter. So you will see hot water tub में cylinder रख रहा है, उल्टा करके रख रहा है, because the cylinders are not having the proper thing that should be there. If your cylinder is having butane, आराम से चलेगा. Then sometimes you'll see freezing happening. That used to happen once in McDonald's, Chandigarh. McDonald's also. So all shopping plazas used to be customers once upon a time. So I've enjoyed my phase in those. Okay. So if you draw more gases at a time, then immediately the cylinder will freeze. You'll see it's starting to freeze. Okay. So oxyacetylene welding. The questions that we get asked is, alkanes undergo complete combustion. Alkenes and alkynes do not undergo complete combustion. How do you understand them? You understand it with the flame that you get. These will give you blue flame. These will give you yellow flame, sooty flame, orange flame. However, there is a process called oxyacetylene welding in which the fuel gets enriched with oxygen externally, and then it gives you a lovely blue flame and used for cutting. Understood? Apart from them, there is another class of compounds that undergo combustion, and that is alcohol. ये तो मूवी में भी देखा होगा, जैसे बोतल गिरा देता है, पिचकियां मारता है, फायर आ जाता है. So all alcohols undergo combustion. Have you seen? So now in some suburban areas you will see in melas and all, some golgappa stall or puri stall, they'll have a stove which they cook like this. Tak 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 करके उसको cook कर. It's called a spirit stove. No gas is there, so the stove will have one small tanki, and there will be a piston. So if you say, दो समोसे लगा गरम कर दीजिए, so he will first tak 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 go on pressurizing it. That is using spirit, alcohol, ethanol. Ethanol से ही वो जल जाएगा. So who will undergo combustion? That's it. We don't need to know much more about them. Alkanes, alkenes, and alcohols. Alkenes will give you very clean fuel, and they are used for Normal combustion purpose, alkenes and alkynes will give you sooty flame. This one will also give you blue flame. Blue flame. Alcohol is sufficient. The oxygen present in atmosphere is sufficient to burn alcohol. Do you know this hit mosquito repellents and all? They are all kerosene based. The mosquito repellent part is very less. We are basically paying all for pressurized kerosene. It's kerosene. Don't you smell oil when that is sprayed? So you should never spray a hit and all with flame on. Not inhale. Means I have done all these things. If you light up a candle and you do a deo spray, the fire will immediately come to you. Light up a candle and then press your deo spray, straight away comes. You can't control also. By that time, हाथ जल जाएगा आपका. ठीक है? So many people, keep mosquito repellents like these, room fresheners. We usually keep them in a utility area. So in summers in Hyderabad, the utility area, the temperature rises so much that at night sometimes we have one of our, in Titanium, we have one of our AC out there. So if you just take your COVID-19, that gun, and you go and point at the area, the temperature goes up to something like 68, 63, which is sufficient for that flammable substance to catch fire. But people are again ignorant. काफी गर्म हो जाता है. Whenever the AC runs, gas line should not be there. That's a design fault actually, which we have in beta. Okay, done. That's all about combustion. Have you understood? Okay, now we go to the next type of reaction. We'll study some reactions. That is the best way to understand. फ्लेम में समझ लेना भाई क्या कलर होता है और क्या नहीं होता है. बेसिक नॉलेज है इसमें और क्या है. The second is substitution reactions. Substitution. What do you mean by this? This is a reaction, characteristic reactions of again alkanes. Alkanes will undergo substitution. What is substitution? If an alkane is made to react with, say, chlorine, okay? Substitution means an atom or more than one atom substitutes a hydrogen or more than one hydrogen atom from a hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon means what do you have? Carbon and hydrogen. So now a foreign atom will come and that atom will kick out the hydrogen. It can kick out, if one atom comes, it will kick out one hydrogen. If more than one, then more than one. So in grade 10, the study that we do, this atom or an atom, we typically show only with chlorine. So chlorine is the foreign atom and it will come, and the hydrocarbon for our case will be alkane. So chlorine will come and hit an alkane, and then what it will do? It will make it a haloalkane. है ना? Haloalkane, and it will release hydrogen. It will release the hydrogen atom. And this thing happens in the presence of sunlight. So ये चीज देखेंगे. Alkanes react with chlorine, and this reaction happens in the presence of sunlight. So sunlight is like your energy that is needed. So tell me, this reaction is exothermic or endothermic? Endothermic system is using energy. ठीक है ना? So it will have a Cl with it and HCl बाहर निकल जाएगा. So whatever. Right. So let's see. Say we have got methane. Methane reacts with chlorine. First time when methane will react with chlorine, you will form what? CH3Cl, chloromethane plus HCl. This will further react with chlorine and you will form CHCl2 plus HCl. This will further react with chlorine. In every step, you will need sunlight, okay? Here also you will need sunlight. Here also you will need sunlight. एक ही बार में हो जाता है. So it forms, CH2Cl2. It will form CHCl3 plus HCl. At your syllabus, this compound is of importance because this is known as chloroform. Chloroform, and it is used as an anesthetic. बेहोश करने के काम में आता है. It is used as an anesthetic. What is the what will be the IUPAC name of this product? Trichloromethane. This is what? Methane. IUPAC name of this one will be chloromethane. Okay. This will be dichloromethane. Dichloromethane. And this will be trichloromethane. Trichloromethane. And this again further can react with another chlorine molecule producing CCl4 plus HCl. This is this is known as carbon tetrachloride. Carbon tetrachloride. This is the lab reagent. So substitution में हमें इतना ही पढ़ना है. This actually forms half of a chapter in grade 11. This particular reaction. This will be the first reaction which will give you the shocker of your life in grade 11 when you study haloalkenes. So what is the, in combustion, what sort of questions you can expect? You can expect questions on flame color, then complete combustion, incomplete combustion. Oxyacetylene welding as an example may be asked to you in some form. Do ethynes undergo combustion? State an application. Ethynes do undergo alkynes do undergo combustion, but the combustion is incomplete in atmospheric oxygen. An application is oxyacetylene welding, where an alkyne in the name of ethine is actually burnt in presence of atmospheric oxygen and additional oxygen. This process is known as oxyacetylene welding, generates a lot of heat for cutting. वो question आ सकता है, and then sooty flame, carbon deposits, and all these things. Next comes substitution reaction. Substitution reactions are shown by alkane, where a group of atoms, in our case a chlorine molecule, will substitute hydrogen atoms from that particular alkane. Example in our syllabus is methane reacts with chlorine in the presence of sunlight to form chloromethane, dichloromethane, trichloromethane. But in your syllabus, I have done it in so much of detailed step. In your syllabus, it is only this much, and straight away they will show this. बीच का नहीं दिखाएगा, हाँ. Cl4. No, CCl4. Okay. Carbon tetrachloride. The last hydrogen knocked off. CCl4. Sorry. Huh? Plus plus HCl. Sorry, handwriting has become very bad. Sorry. Plus HCl. CCl4. Okay, let me make it nice then. Sorry. CCl4. I thought you will be able to decode from here. See, every time what is happening, let's look at it in more better manner if you are having problems. See, this is methane, agreed? So methane reacts with chlorine. So this goes out as HCl. And this one comes in non-CL. Not that easy, the way I told you in 11. You will see formation of something called a carbocation. This will be an anion. Actually, see what happens. Chlorine and chlorine, if you split them, they become Cl minus, Cl minus. Do you agree? Cl minus, chlorine is anion. In order for chlorine to get attached here, this particular member should develop positive charge. That is what you will study in 11 called a carbocation. Carbon will behave as a cation. Then only it can attract that chlorine. तो ये तो आएगा, याद रखना ये जब पढ़ाएगा आपको स्कूल में, ठीक है? Done substitution, that's only, not much. Now the one that you'll study, उसमें दो चीज पढ़ना है हमें. चले? Okay. अभी जो पढ़ेंगे उसमें दो चीजें हैं, बस ये पढ़ना है, addition. And then properties of alcohol and acids, means not alcohol and acid, two important compounds, ethanoic acid, ethanol, soaps chapter. Soap to itna sa hai, one paragraph, you need not worry. Okay. This is and again an interesting reaction. Addition reaction. Addition, you have heard about addition reaction. Addition reaction को क्या बोलते हैं? Combination reaction. A plus B gives you AB. But here it is a little bit different. इतना आसान होने से थोड़ी पढ़ेंगे यहाँ पे. Addition reaction. Okay. Addition reaction is a property which will be shown by unsaturated hydrocarbons. Unsaturated hydrocarbons. And in unsaturated hydrocarbon, we will be studying more about alkenes. एल्कीन्स, ठीक है, एल्कीन। अब सबसे पहले सुनिए, अनसैचुरेटेड हाइड्रोकार्बन बोले तो कैसा हाइड्रोकार्बन? ऐसा हाइड्रोकार्बन कि कार्बन कार्बन में डबल बॉन्ड है या फिर कार्बन कार्बन में ट्रिपल बॉन्ड है। हम इसके ऊपर ज्यादा पढ़ेंगे, एडिशन, समथिंग इज गोइंग टू गेट एडेड। अच्छा, few more things that you should know from the perspective of daily life। आप बहुत सुनते हैं ना saturated fats and unsaturated fats, ठीक है। एक कॉमन चीज बता देता हूं, सबसे पहले रूम टेम्परेचर देखिएगा। अगर रूम टेम्परेचर में कोई सॉलिड है तो वो सैचुरेटेड फैट है, रूम टेम्परेचर में अगर कोई लिक्विड है तो वो क्या है? अनसैचुरेटेड फैट है। अंडरस्टूड? नाउ लेट्स सी द एग्जांपल ऑफ ghee, or let's see the example of butter. What is the English name of ghee? Clarified butter. Okay, very good. So ghee or butter, so we always used to say in Cambridge they'll have an example of butter to margarine, but the CBSE ones will learn ghee to vanaspati. That you will be learning. Okay, so let's understand, have the concepts clear. Ghee or butter are saturated fat, right? And even if you cut my skin through, the deposit of fats that you will see will be solid, so those are called sat fat. Sat fat is not good for you, but that way the Americans have made a lot of fool of us actually. Okay, there are very good videos of American nutritionists which say that if you see before 70s in India, people always ate rice and everything. India never had illness. India's illness opened up when India's education opened up and we became pro-West and started eating things with a lot of preservatives, sugar and other things. And that's all thanks to them. And I still remember that as we are Bengalis, so in my house right from my childhood, mustard oil was used for cooking. When I came to grade 4 and 5, a new brand of oil started coming in television ads. See how Western world penetrates inside your country. These are also silent warfare. A brand oil came whose name was Postman, and it was ad was made in such a manner that Postman is something that is, if you want to live more, you should eat Postman. So mustard oil, and then came Safola, healthy heart. उन्हें दर्द हुआ, मैंने उस दिन से सफोला अपनाया। तो ऐसे करते करते करते, and now the world has come back and they say mustard oil is the best oil for cooking. All the people in north, people in south used to use coconut oil, and people in north used to use what? Mustard oil. People in east, I've been born brought up. Today also, if you ask me to cook, I cook only in mustard oil. Okay, but it became so that many Bengali houses and others, they completely threw away mustard oil. Safola became their part, and then came start sunflower oil, Vital, and all these oils started to come. All these Fortune and all these are unsaturated fat. और हमें बताया कि unsaturated fat is good. The world now agrees that these are, although these are saturated fat, these two are excellent. Even this one is very, very good item, although it is saturated. Okay? And unsaturated means the normal oil that we used, like sunflower oil and all. And the Americans and all came with their KFCs, and they, you know, KFC and all, what oil they use? Palm oil. Palm oil is highly cancerous. A McDonald's in US cannot use palm oil. हाँ, lard तो है ही. Do you know what is lard? ना pig fat नहीं है. Lard is animal bones को boil करने के बाद. There is nothing called vegetarian in McDonald's and KFC. Please get it very clear in your mind. Otherwise, that taste won't come. The taste which you get in that fried nuggets and other thing is because of lard. Lard है animal fat. Ice cream can never be vegetarian. Ice cream can never be vegetarian. Because ice cream में एक चीज होता है, lectin बोलते हैं. Ice cream, do you know if you take out ice cream from the fridge, you cannot refrigerate it again? Frozen dessert can be done. Ice cream नहीं. Ice cream is like an emulsion. Have you seen a painter who uses emulsion paint? First he will take out the डब्बा and do घुटो, और उसी साथ साथ पेंट करना पड़ेगा. It's like omelette. छोड़ दोगे तो again it will. So ice cream में bonding होता है. That bonding is done by something called lectin. Lectin is found in egg. एग तोड़ के आइसक्रीम नहीं बनाते हैं, पर एग में जो कंपाउंड है वही कंपाउंड उसमें भी है. सो आइसक्रीम्स, या they are frozen dessert. But Amul is ice cream. Quality is frozen dessert. They lost the battle, ना. So Amul is ice cream. Quality is frozen dessert. Frozen dessert को दोबारा फ्रिज कर सकते हो. आइसक्रीम यू कैन फ्रिज अगेन. एक बार काट लिया तो वो अंदर नहीं जाएगा. आइसक्रीम इज एन एमल्शन. ठीक है, चलो. So liquid. So is this part clear? Unsaturated fat. So all your oils like say mustard oil, sunflower oil, all these, then groundnut oil, then coconut oil, all these are coming under unsaturated. But coconut oil, it may not be completely this, because coconut oil, if you actually leave, if you just freeze it, will make the room temperature a little bit colder, it will freeze up. ठीक है? तो ये सारा क्या होता है हमारा unsaturated fat है. Unsaturated fat means all these are alkanes. Huh? Please understand, these are all alkanes. Higher level alkanes, C17, C18, C22. These are all alkanes. This is also, sorry, these are all alkanes. These are all alkanes. And these are all alkenes. Okay? Alkenes. Now in our, now see how much of science is involved. Just like you have these festivals like Rakhi, you have a festival called Bhai Dooj also. Yeah. So I used to see my mother, like before Bhai Dooj, you know, the sister is supposed to put tilak on the face. So kajal का तिलक लगाते हैं. So इस time पे ऐसा, आजकल तो आप काजल खरीदते हो. The right way they used to make kajal. How they make kajal? They take a small piece of plantain leaf, छोटा सा ऐसे, and then grease it with mustard oil or ghee. Grease it with mustard oil. What is it? Unsaturated. And just hold this plantain leaf over the diya. The diya. It will burn with sooty flame. And it will give you carbon deposit. That itself is kajal. The most pure form of kajal. अभी समझ में नहीं आता था. बाद में जब पढ़ा, कनेक्ट किया, हाँ ये तो काजल है. So science was known to people. ठीक है, ये जान के रखते हैं. So let's now come back to here. Unsaturated hydrocarbon, we'll get back to this later on during the course. तो ये जान के रखिए. So these undergo addition reaction, and one of the addition reaction that we will study is known as bromine water test. Bromine water test. A bromine water test actually distinguishes between sat and unsat. Typically in this unsat, we will be studying about alkenes, okay? Sat and unsat, it will distinguish. So they'll ask you, name the test used to distinguish between, what do you call, alkanes and alkenes, okay? Say suppose they'll give you ghee in test tube, and they'll give you sunflower oil. How do you know which one is saturated, which one is not saturated? ठीक है, वही चीज हम पढ़ने वाले हैं. आ जाओ. Ready? Bromine water means, bromine is known as Br2. Bromine is a gas dissolved in water. Bromine is a gas dissolved in water. So the water will be what in color? It will be reddish brown. Reddish brown. Bromine gas dissolved in water. Dissolved in water. तो ये हो गया आपका ब्रोमीन वाटर बोलते हैं इसको. ठीक है, अब इससे हम टेस्ट करेंगे. और ये टेस्ट क्या बताएगा हमें? Which of the given samples? So we have two samples with us. Say test tube A and we have test tube B. Right? Test tube A, let us understand that it is alkane, and let's say this is alkene. Clear? Understood? Okay. आइए टेस्ट को देखते हैं कैसे होता है. So let's take the example of, since we have to use an alkene, only the alkenes will respond to this test. What is the response to the test? We will actually put bromine water. You will put bromine water as a sample here also, and you will put bromine water as a sample here also. If it is the alkane, it will retain the reddish brown color, and here what will happen? Color will disappear. Color will disappear. अच्छा, कलर डिसअपियर का मतलब क्या है? पहले लॉजिक समझो टेस्ट का. कलर डिसअपियर मतलब क्या है? कौन घुसा? ब्रोमीन आया. ब्रोमीन क्या कलर से आया? रेडिश ब्राउन. इसके साथ मिक्स होके भी ये सब्सटेंस रेडिश ब्राउन ही है. दैट मींस ब्रोमीन इज स्टिल लाइक ब्रोमीन ओनली इनसाइड, एंड हियर द रेडिश ब्राउन कलर वेंट अवे. दैट मींस ब्रोमीन मस्ट हैव गॉट शैटर्ड आउट हियर. Understood? That's the logic. Let's see. So we have to, and I told you that alkenes will show this test. So let me take an alkene. ले ले alkene ले ले. Okay, let's take an alkene. Hydrogen, hydrogen, carbon, double bond, carbon, hydrogen, hydrogen. Okay, and this particular bond I'm showing with red color, just for simplicity. Okay, ये red color है. Now what do we bring in? we have poured bromine water now, Br2 pour कर दिया है. Addition reaction में क्या होता है? Two substances A and B will combine together to form AB, one substance ना. तो इसमें कैसा होगा? हाइड्रोजन कार्बन हाइड्रोजन कार्बन हाइड्रोजन कार्बन, समझ में आया? एंड दिस ठीक है ना, एक दो एक दो एक दो एक दो, दो कार्बन का, और ये है ना, this bond which is there, the red bond, it opens up like the wipers of ambassador car. Will open up like the wiper. So it opens up like a wiper. So what will happen? Bromine will get inside. So bromine को ये मालपुए की तरह खा लेगा. What is the name of this compound? Right? टू नहीं चाहिए ना, किधर से भी करो एक ही होता है. 1,2 डाइब्रोमोइथेन, 1,2 डाइब्रोमोइथेन, ये ऐसा नेमिंग नहीं हुआ तो कैसा हो? डाइब्रोमो. अच्छा, look at before the reaction, what were you? Alkene. What did you become? Haloalkane. Alkane तो बने हो, पर हेलोजन घुसा है तुम्हारे अंदर, हैलोएल्केन बने हो. Addition reaction. Question arises, why is this reaction not shown by ethane? If I would have taken ethane, how does ethane look like? Hydrogen, carbon, hydrogen, this. Now you will get the meaning of the word. And you have poured bromine. This is the test which is happening in test tube A. This is like you people at 6:15. Your heads are already filled up with study. You don't want to study further. So what is the word we use? Sir, my brain is saturated. All the valencies are saturated. ये खाना खाया हुआ है भाई. The strongest bonds are, if you form single bonds ना, the bonds are very strong, right? Sharing नहीं है इसमें. तो ये तो already ये बोलेगा my configuration is very happy. I don't need another bromine. But here there was some sort of, what do you say, compromise which was there. So they are unsaturated. They can still open up and eat more. Now a test that comes up is, question arises, sir, bromine water test, can it detect between an alkene and an alkyne? No. It can detect between sat and unsat. For your grade 10 level, we have deliberately taken only alkenes. Bromine water test will also be shown by alkynes also, because they are also unsaturated. यहाँ पे एक बॉन्ड खुला, वहां पे दो बॉन्ड खुलेगा. आओ ब्रोमीन आओ, सब ब्रोमीन को पीता जाएगा. ये थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो जाता है बच्चा लोग. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, addition reaction, the addition reaction that we study in our course is known as bromine water test. Bromine water test is used to distinguish between sat and unsat. It will not show any positivity. The test will not report positive for sats. It will report positive for unsat. What is the criteria of positive? That bromine water, once you drop in it, this compound will be colorless. But if you actually put bromine water out here, did the bromine get to react with it? No. So this remains as a mixture and it will still be reddish brown in color. So that is the test. In this case, in unsats, the color will be lost. Here, the color will be retained. And here, the color will be lost. But within unsat, we have got two categories. We have got carbon-carbon double bond and we have got carbon-carbon triple bond. Now, if you ask me, will this test be able to tell me whether it is double bond or triple bond? It doesn't tell me whether it is alkyne or alkene, but it definitely tells me कि ये तो नहीं है. So, in order for you guys at a very tender level of organic chemistry to understand, we tried to show you this with alkenes. So, what is an addition reaction? An addition reaction is one in which two compounds combine together to form one compound. So we will have an hydrocarbon and the hydrocarbon will be actually reacting with external atoms, outside atoms. and they will form one compound. This test is shown, these reactions are shown only by alkenes and alkynes. In other words, we'll say addition reactions are a characteristic reaction of unsaturated hydrocarbons. So you can write here, addition reactions are only supported by unsaturated hydrocarbons. Saturated, this is just like combustion reaction. Who shows good combustion? Saturated. Unsaturated need additional oxygen. In this case, it is addition reaction. Who shows addition reaction? Unsaturated will show. Sats नहीं दिखाएगा. और ये तो हुआ कि addition reaction होता क्या है? Like if I read the book definition, it says that addition reactions are given by all alkenes and alkynes, and it is the addition of hydrogen, chlorine, bromine, many things. So right now what we are trying to show this test with an example called, an application called bromine water test. Addition reaction में दो examples आते हैं exam में. One is bromine water test, which we have learned. The next one will be घी बटर बनाएंगे अभी. That is called hydrogenation. Hydrogenation, addition of hydrogen. Dehydrogenation means removal. Hydrolysis, take away water. Hydration, add water. ये समझ में आया? So what all did you study today? First you studied combustion. Combustion, you did not have any equations. Then you studied what? Substitution. Substitution is shown only by alkanes. Now, and again, why is substitution reaction done for alkanes? Alkanes are known as paraffins. They will not react with anyone. To make them reactive, we have to make them some intermediate haloalkanes. And that is the process of substitution. Last class में बताया था आपको. If you take ethane, ethane will not react with anyone. So bring one chlorine, take out one hydrogen, make this chloroethane. Now he becomes very reactive. So come to addition reaction. Addition reactions are characteristic reactions of unsaturated hydrocarbons. Means both double bond and triple bond will support addition reaction. What happens in this? The hydrocarbon will have addition of outside atoms. They can be halogens, they can be hydrogen. So we are first seeing the example of halogens coming up. And this example is shown with an application called bromine water test. Bromine water test is a test which works on the principle of addition reaction, because bromine water test will happen only with unsaturated. And unsaturated hydrocarbons will react positive to it. What is positive? Bromine water, being reddish brown in color, when reacts with unsaturated hydrocarbon, loses its color. But with saturated hydrocarbon, the color is retained. Why do saturated not react with it? They're already saturated. नहीं चाहिए भाई और. बोला ना नहीं चाहिए. मैडम दे लो ना फिर भी कम दाम में मैडम ले लो. नहीं चाहिए. इसका कैसा है? ये तो शेयरिंग पे है. तो ये खुलेगा. ऐसे ट्रिपल बॉन्ड रहेगा तो वो भी खुलेंगे. And everyone wants to form single bond. No sharing. Single apartments. So is addition reaction clear? But there is one shortfall. An addition reaction tells you, a bromine water test as an application of addition reaction only tells you whether the compound is sat or unsat. If you ask within unsat, because it will be unsat. Within unsat, if you ask whether it is alkane or alkene, that I cannot tell you. Clear? ट्रिपल बॉन्ड में तीनों खुलेगा. एक बार पहले हेलो एल्कीन फॉर्म होगा, फिर हेलो एल्कीन फॉर्म होगा. All will open up. ठीक है? Now the next, there are two examples I told you. One example was bromine water test. So in after all, addition reaction means addition of some atoms. Yes or no? That atoms in bromine water, these atoms were chlorine. Now the second example we will see where it will be addition of hydrogen. Ready? Sorry. These are symptoms that lunatism is coming up now. So this is bromine. Understood? In the next example, we will be seeing addition of. Next example को अगले क्लास में भी पढ़ाएंगे. अभी थोड़ा बता देते हैं आपको. ठीक है? फंडा बता देते हैं. Okay. How many people have seen the process of making, you know the process of making butter or ghee? You know the process of making butter or ghee. How many of you know it? Butter or ghee. How do you make it butter or ghee? Can I know? Right from start. Whatever, I'll see. If I don't know something, I'll add. And if I don't know, I'll get it. Anyone? Hey, online के बच्चे खाली ना चुपचाप बैठे रहते हैं. ऐसा थोड़ी होता है. How do you make butter or ghee? Is anyone aware? Yes, so let's hear from Shreyas. वो बोलना चाहता है. हाँ Shreyas बोल. Yeah. Keep it aside for some time. There's a kind of layer which forms on the milk. मलाई फॉर्म होगा. मलाई फॉर्म होगा. क्रीम जिसे बोलते हैं. हाँ. All products keep it for some time. हाँ. Storage for that. Then one day it take it and they'll boil it. Boil it? नहीं शायद. They put it in the कढ़ाई. ना वहां पे गड़बड़ हो रहा है. You're correct till here. Okay, चलो. So he was correct till here. Milk, when milk is boiled, obviously you don't expect this from toned milk. Okay, this should be a full cream milk. When you boil it, then on the upper layer you get what is known as the cream, और हिंदी में जिसे हम बोलते हैं मलाई. यहाँ के बाद एक स्टेप मिस कर गया तो ये मलाई को the mothers pour it in a ball and freeze it. Yes, you need to refrigerate it because after 30 days it is all malai malai malai. इसके बाद क्या होता है? नेक्स्ट स्टेप. बॉयल के पहले एक स्टेप है. कढ़ाई नहीं. देयर इज वन मोर स्टेप. चर्न इट. ये ब्लेंडर में डालेगा इसको. You have to, हाँ, you have to beat it up. Okay, so that will be in that food processor. You'll beat it up. When you start beating it up, then all the malai will go up and some sort of water will still be left out, and then that malai will form थोक बॉल जैसा हो जाएगा. That is known as butter. तो पूरा मलाई, यशोदा ऐसा करती थी ना, और कान्हा आके the मलाई will ऊपर उठ जाएगा, आपका बटर ऊपर उठ जाएगा, और उसी को तो कृष्ण खा लेता था ना. तो ये पूरा यहाँ पे फॉर्म हो जाएगा and you can actually with your both hand make a ball of it. इतना बड़ा बॉल होगा. That is the butter, which is the pure form of butter. If you go to Punjab, they will serve you this only with your food. But you and me, we morons will never get taste in it because there will be no salt. It will be white color butter. हमें कोई taste नहीं मिलेगा. But if you want to make it like the Amul butter that you get, that yellow wala packet, so you add salt in it and add color in it, and then you just freeze it up. It will give you exactly the smell and taste of Amul butter. We are habituated to have this, not this one. ये butter form हो गया. यहाँ तक क्या है? Unsaturated है. थोड़ा थोड़ा सैट होना शुरू हो गया. अब इससे घी बनाएंगे. अब इसको घी बनाने के लिए आप क्या करोगे? कढ़ाई लेगा, and the कढ़ाई will be put at a high flame, and this butter ball will be put out here, and they'll go on churning it, and after some time you'll see that absolutely clear liquid will be formed. Clear liquid with one or two granules of something, जैसे वो बूंदी, like when you make pakoras, some granules are there ना. Absolutely clear you'll get it. This clear is strained out and called clarified butter or ghee. Understood? And ये जो बाकी रह जाता ना, ये भी टेस्टी है. और यहाँ जो पानी बच गया ना, ये जो पानी बच गया, इससे आटा गूंद के पराठे बनाइए और टेस्टी होता है. This is also very tasty. That's when you make rajma, like what do you call? It's dal makhni जैसा होता है ना. Like dal makhni, whenever we have made it on birthday and it's excess और dal makhni रह गया है, take out all the dal makhni and then put it in blender and make a paste out of it and then make आटा इसके साथ गूंदो. वही मिस्सी रोटी होता है, उसी का टेस्ट अलग होता है. This water के साथ कौन सा? हाँ नहीं, दाल को ब्लेंड कराने से नहीं तो ग्रैन्युलर आ जाएगा ना. खाते वक्त पता चल जाएगा गेस्ट को कि तूने पिछले दिन का दाल यूज किया है. चालाक बनना है ना उसको. एकदम ब्लेंड करो उसको अच्छे से और ब्लेंड करके आटे के साथ गूंदो. इवन व्हेन यू मेक दिस व्हाट यू कॉल, व्हेन यू मेक कॉटेज चीज एट होम से ना, तो आप दूध को फाड़ देते हो ना. once the milk coagulates, then what happens, green water will come out. The whole what you call cheese will get in one place. Paneer, have you seen how paneer is made? Boil the milk and then puts acid in it. Before you put in cloth, you'll see the milk will curdle, and when the milk curdles, you'll see the milk will leave green water. Don't throw that water. Use that water for making the paratha dough. The paratha will be very tasty. Green क्योंकि खा तो जा रहा है सब, एसिड रहता है ना. The acid will make it green. ठीक है. तो ये हाइड्रोजनेशन आपको अगले क्लास में पढ़ाएंगे. This process is known as hydrogenation. So what is bad about it? How many of you know the name of dalda? Okay, dalda is something like Maggi. Okay, we are habitual, like noodles we call Maggi. Dalda is vegetable oil से बनाया हुआ vegetable ghee. Highly dangerous, but somebody who loves taste, if you ask me, puri is made in sunflower oil and puri is made in dalda. No comparison. There are still some shops in cold, in when you go to Delhi in cold winters, so they are specialized on the roadside. They make omelets and they write dalde ka omelet. Usi ka hi taste aayega. Once you had it, you cannot have one. You'll have two. And the aloo tikkis that you get in Delhi, they are all dalda wala. He will take out ekdam solid aisa and he'll put it on his, what do you call that, frying pan, and it's very cold in Delhi na, तभी वो पिघलना start करेगा. After pleading my mother for I think 2 or 3 years, once she granted me to get dalda, just 250 grams. But dalda का अगर आप पूरी खाओगे ना, but that's what I say. In our childhood, like in my tiffin in school days, we used to take dalda puris only. Very tasty. डालडे के समोसे का all this, ये जो कराची वराची के समोसे tasty होते हैं, सब डालडा. All the biryanis that you eat in shop, which so glazy and tasty, dalda. Big dabbas, dalda's dabba. Empty bottom they keep it. That is called, that is a pehchan, that you know the taste should be like that. And dalda का एक और breed होता था, उसका नाम था Gagan. Gagan used to be the t-shirt color she is wearing, and the ad used to come, Khao Gagan, Raho Magan. So Gagan used to be one vanaspati, dalda, Gagan, and then came one more called Rath, R-A-T-H. By that time, they slowly dwindled out. Now nobody eats dalda. But dalda जैसे ही fry होगा ना, पकोड़े समोसे, ask your grandparents. Smell. Okay. So next class we will continue with addition reaction. Our next reaction will be application will be hydrogenation. Hydrogenation is the process in which you make these poisons from vegetable oil to vegetable vanaspati ghee, which is known as. इसलिए डालडा के डब्बे में देखना एक पेड़ का हमेशा ड्राइंग रहता है. ठीक है, चलो.